I came at the start of my 6th grade year. It was the end of public school, elementary school, and I was really involved in sports and everything, and a lot of the friends who I played with were all on their way off to Ben Franklin, and so even though I had a lot of family history here, my dad has taught here for almost 20 years and coached here and everything, and I've got family throughout Oak Grove. It was really a little bit harder decision for me because I had all these good friends who I played sports with, but ultimately I knew that I was a very introverted person, and I felt like the smaller class sizes would really suit me well. And so I opted to come here, and at first I thought that I made a bad choice because I missed all my friends, I missed playing sports with them, but the more I got to know people at Oak Grove, I realized that it was bringing the best out in me. I learned a lot about myself, and I really came out of my shell, and the group of people who are now my classmates really showed me that you can try everything. And I've had so many good opportunities to get involved with a lot of different sports and different groups like Key Club, Chapel Board, that I probably wouldn't have had the opportunity to get involved with because just with a smaller student body, there's a lot more focus on the kids, and you can do everything. I'm so grateful that I've had a chance to be a part of choir and sports and leadership and clubs and just combining everything. And I see the attitude that a lot of my other friends have about their school, and this is a place that I love, and more than ever people I hear talking about how they can't wait to go to college, and I'm sitting here going, wow, I really don't want to leave here. This has been my home for the last 7 years for school, and even before that with siblings and parents being involved here. Really my whole life I grew up here, and it really is like a family for me. Well, the first thing that I got involved with at Oak Grove was trying out for the boys soccer team. And I'd played soccer since I was a real little kid, so I'd probably played for 7 or 8 years, and I thought that it was something that I was really into, and I tried out, and they didn't keep 8th graders, so I said, well, I want to do something. And my cousin was one of the cross-country coaches in the Shanley Co-op, and so I went and started running cross-country, and I swore to everyone involved that I was here for 1 year, I was just going to get in shape, and I was going to be in soccer the next year. And by the time mid-October came and we had the state cross-country meet, there was no way that anyone was going to get me to quit. So I've been in cross-country for 5 years. I met some of the best friends that I have through that co-op, and it's more than running for me, and it's a group of people who I never expected to meet, never thought I'd meet, and certainly never thought that I would stay friends with for this long. But so that was one kind of trial and error situation for me. And then I tried track, and I knew that was going to be a 1-year deal because I knew that when I became a freshman, baseball was going to be available, and that's another co-op that I've just been so thankful for at Oak Grove. Even if it is a small school, we have such an amazing opportunity to do things with Shanley and Park Christian, to have all the same opportunities as a bigger school. And a lot of the people that I met there were people who I'd maybe heard of before and maybe competed against for a while growing up, and then once you got to know them and once you played with them, you realized how good of people they were and how good of friends they could become. So between the switch from soccer to cross country and basketball and baseball, I've found my niche, sort of, and I know that they're all things that interest me, they're all things that I find meaning and purpose in, and I am currently hoping to become coaching certified in basketball and baseball next year through my experiences at Oak Grove. Through the one-on-one teaching focus that we have here, I think that's really helped me because being so busy, a lot of the time I feel like I should be overwhelmed with work, trying to balance all of my sports and studying, but because so many of the teachers know students on a personal level, they all know exactly my learning style, and they know what works best for everyone, and through that I think they understand how important it is to me to achieve well in academics and to do my best, and I feel like they always put kids in a position to do their best, and whenever there's a project that seems daunting, there's always 2 or 3 different options for it, so you can choose the one that's best for you. There's never any fear. No one needs to be the jock who thinks it's cool to screw around in the back of class, because everyone cares so much about everyone that it is totally acceptable to be in many sports and to participate in things, and also to take your classwork to heart too, and to work hard at that. And I know that without the one-on-one assistance and the focus on the kids, I don't think it would be possible to have maintained a 4.0 and stayed active in sports and in music and leadership opportunities like Key Club and Chapel Board, and just being so involved and yet not feeling like I need to sacrifice anything because everybody makes everything so accessible. Yeah, one of the amazing things that has come out of Oak Grove is I feel like I've become a very well-rounded person, and that's given me the opportunity not only to earn some of the scholarships that I have, but just opened up so many opportunities to apply. And I found that a lot involve, I've applied for a coaching one that is specifically meant for someone who's interested in going into coaching, but another one of the criteria is your academic achievement, or from national merit, scholarship applications, and presidential scholar contests to, I just received word about one that is intended for people who played varsity basketball, and I think having the ability to do everything that I want to here has opened up so many opportunities, and it is able to show a committee that you are interested in many different things, and you aren't kind of streamlining your life into one thing. This isn't someone who's only focused on playing sports and doesn't take anything else to heart, and it's not somebody who spends all their time studying to get the best grades and get into college. It's Oak Grove forms kids who are focused on life and focused on other people, and are really able to contribute in all aspects. They aren't single-minded. Oak Grove creates very well-rounded kids. The New Orleans mission trip for me was probably the most eye-opening experience I've ever had. It was my first time staying away from home without my parents for more than a couple days, and so I'd been very sheltered for the most part from kind of the world and the things going on. I'd heard so much about Hurricane Katrina and everything, but it's so hard for me especially to gain a real viewpoint based on pictures and video, and seeing the destruction that still remains firsthand I was so taken aback, and having the opportunity to work with people who lived through it really showed me that everything that I have is a blessing, and I couldn't help but think back to what I have at home and wonder how I can be so offended when someone takes the last cookie, and I feel like I've been shorted. And the opportunity to bond with my class, we were always close, but after that everybody had not only new knowledge of who everyone was and what they were about, but a new appreciation for their individuality and what they contributed to this setting. And however scared I went into it for my first time on a plane, my first time away from home, I came back knowing that everyone I had around me was so important to me, and Oak Grove was the place for me, and that was why. That sense of community that we had, and all of the experiences that we shared together over 4 years for some of us, to 7 to those who started at the elementary school for 8 years, and just the impact that these young people can have on peers as well as on the chaperones, who I could tell had such a good experience with it, and were really impressed by the heart that a bunch of juniors could bring to a project that seems so far away from home. I think that Oak Grove has done as good of a job as you can do to prepare someone for college. It's obviously a nerve-wracking experience to move on to that phase and leave your comfort zone where you've been, but I feel like through everything that I've learned, to everything that I've experienced and all the opportunities I've had, that for as nerve-wracking as it is, I'll know how to handle anything that comes at me. And it's going to be nice being just a few blocks up the road from where I went to high school and everything, but sometimes that can feel miles away, and I think because of the community that Oak Grove is and because of the impact it has, I will know that everything I've learned will always come back to me, and it'll be those lessons and the teachers I've had, not only who I can always count on to go back to if I ever need anything, but also to have seen how they handle those types of times in their lives, and the amount of interest that they put in students can show just how important those relationships can be in making connections with people, even if they might seem different at first, because you never know what kind of people they are on the inside, and you never know what kind of an impact they might have on your life.